Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Have you ever wondered what games you should sell or you should use? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Find out on our top 10 list what games you cannot miss. Don't forget to subscribe to Purge Reviews.
Ponzi Scheme. Now, this is one of those games where I usually get the big hot games, and I really like Tasty Minstrel games. Their games aren't normally my favorite, but I do like them quite a bit. And Ponzi Scheme was one that I was a little bit unsure of. It was a little bit more expensive than a lot of games. But man, once I played it, I was the only one at the table that liked it. Now, this is a game of pressure. This is a game of you're just juggling things in the air, and you want to be the last one to let them fall, right? So Ponzi Scheme is all about having your own Ponzi Scheme. You're getting an influx of cash, but you're promising more than you get out. So you constantly have to take in more funding, thus promising more money out. So to pay that off, I got to take more money in. But that means I have promised more money, even more money to go out. And it doesn't stop. And you will go bankrupt. And you will go belly up. Unless somebody goes belly up before you and the game ends and you score your points. There is some trickery and some negotiating, so you can offer people industry tiles, offer to buy their industry tiles, thus scoring you more points, but they can refuse by paying you that exact price for yours, and you cannot turn it down. That can be one of two ways it can be used. It can be used for you to get more money, thus selling your industry tiles a little bit cheaper than you want to, or it can be a way to get an industry tile from somebody else, either at a hefty price or cheaper if they really need their money. They're not in a position to spend their money right now. So you have to be very careful about spending your money. So there's a couple things going on here. The rules are really simple. The game is really easy to understand. And it's really, 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 really about who can juggle this better. Who can manage their money better. Because you all will go bankrupt with enough time. The Ponzi Scheme will go belly up. How will you react to it? Only better than those people that you're playing. Because you don't have to be fantastic at it, right? If the bear is chasing you and a buddy, you don't have to outrun the bear. You have to outrun your buddy. That's what you're doing here. You're outrunning your buddy and letting them get eaten by the bear. The rules are simple. The game plays well. There's not a whole lot to it. And that's the brilliance in this game. And it is brilliant. But let me say the other people at the table didn't like it. They didn't like it. It was me and two women, and the two women at the table did not like the game. I played it again with some people who were more in the financial sector, and they tended to like the game more. So the first group didn't really like economic games. The second one did. But every time I played it, there were people who liked it and people who didn't. Those two groups were just very polarizing for some reason. Otherwise, there was always somebody at the table who didn't like it. There was somebody at the table who just didn't like that pressure, didn't like knowing that you were going to lose. You just want to lose slower than everybody else. So take that as you will. This isn't a game that's going to win everybody over, but I think it's really neat. And I think the Ponzi Scheme theme works brilliantly in this game. And I think when I sat down to play with one person, she's like, what's a Ponzi Scheme? Play this game, and then you'll know what a Ponzi Scheme is. And it worked brilliantly for that. I liked it quite a bit. I also like the inclusion of the advanced tiles where you can build those luxury items. And that gives you another way to spend your money. But be careful because you need your money so badly in this game. And you can't just buy all those luxury tiles and they score you more points. So be very, very careful. Although those can be the difference between winning and losing. But they can also send you bankrupt. So be careful with that. This is a really fun game. I liked it a lot. I don't think it's going to hit for everybody. If you like economic games, this is it. If you like a game that brings this theme across with a Ponzi Scheme, this is it. If you like games where you're just trying not to lose fast, this is it. The game is rather simple. I mean, what you're doing each turn is not complicated. Now, it can be mathy, right? It's all math. They give you the percentages on it, which don't really help you much because you're paying a high percentage out for everything. But you need to make sure when the bear comes to pay that you are prepared for it. For me, this is an absolute keeper. knowing it's not going to hit with everybody. I'm going to have some games where it's going to fall flat. But man, when it soars high. Highly recommend this one. Keep this one in your collection. I don't know any other game that plays like this, especially an economic game. This is very unique and very good. And dare I say, maybe even Tasty Minstrel Game's best game. This might be it. This is really fun. But you know what? You could listen to another reviewer and he could be saying the opposite of what I say, that he hates it so much, and I can totally get why this game would be polarizing. But for me, it's a keeper. Here are the components for Ponzi Scheme. Another Tasty Minstrel game. You're going to get a rule book. Not as thick as I thought it was going to be. Really, the rules are only a couple pages. Really, the rules are just right here. And the rest of it's kind of set up in the components. So, very good rule book. You can get a number of these screens. They're nice. These are very thick. These are not cheap. But they are small. Just be aware of that. All you're really doing is hiding your money. So, it's not a huge deal. You're going to get a board. This is where the cards will be played on. And it's fine. Each player's going to get one of these wheels. This is very thick, very nice. And it'll just be rotating in front. A lot of these components, they could have went a lot cheaper. I'm glad they didn't, but they could have. You're going to get a number of these cards. These are the little ones that you'll be using throughout the game. Some of them will have bears on them and money. And it's really nice to tell you the interest rate on them, which is great. Fantastic. Not happy about this next component, which is the paper money. This is just garbage. I don't know why they continue to do this. I mean, at least, I don't know, it's just terrible. And these are the industry tiles that you'll be kind of playing around with. These are very thick, generic. Not crazy about the artwork on them, but just generic little industry tiles. They're very nice. This is probably the best component. This feels like it's leather or something, where you put the money in there so nobody else can see what you're bidding. I wish they would have spent a little bit less money on this, a little bit more on that money. Here's your first player marker, which is a huge pen. Very thick and very nice. These are for the optional rule where you can buy luxury items. Okay. You've got some other cards that will be taking the order of the turn and stuff like that. No insert, which is fine. The big screw up on these components is this money. Boo! Everything else is very nice. The rules for Ponzi Scheme are surprisingly easy. They're very easy to understand, very easy to play. I would even say just do one round really fast and you will get it. The trick is understanding the values and keeping those balls in the air. The game itself rules easy. The game becomes us. Almost like a social deduction game, right? Where, sure, the rules for resistance are very simple, but we end up playing some kind of metagame. That's what kind of happens here in Ponzi Scheme, especially with the offers that you're making. Those offers could be the difference between winning and losing big time. Really like this rule set. Very crisp, very clear. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple aspects of this game. So here's the main board and what you'll be doing on a turn. The bottom three will be up here, or the lowest three, the middle three, and this. So if you ever have to draw another card because somebody took this, then you would rearrange everything. A little bit fiddly, but that's kind of how it works, right? So it doesn't matter what order they're in. So how you're going to pick this, you have level 1, 2, and 3. If you have one industry type, you can pick from the 1. If you have 2, you can pick from the 2, and if you have 3, you can pick it a 3. And once you have 3 of a kind, you can no longer pick one of these up of the same type. You have to get them through other means. When you pick these cards up, you will immediately get the big number. You'll get an influx of cash of $13. It will be put on the wheel, so when you have your wheel in front of you, it will go down on the 4 because the 4 is there. And every time this comes back up to the red spot, you will pay $10, which means you're paying out a 19.23 interest rate. And the idea of the game is that you have to keep taking more loans out. It's kind of a house of cards that you'll have as this goes. So the first thing you'll do is you'll take one of these, or you can pass, and an industry tile. You'll get one of each. The industry tiles are how you're going to score points at the end of the game. So let's take this away for now, and let's show you how this works. So if you had taken this 38, it would have been placed on the 4. And let's say I had this, which would have been placed on the 5, and this one would have been placed on the 3. So just to say this is where I'm at in the middle of the game. Each round, this is going to turn one time. And when it gets to the red mark, I have to pay the interest rate, in this case 77. Keep in mind, I only got $54 for this. I'm losing money every time this darn thing comes up. Okay? If 3 of these bear cards, or I'm sorry, the number of players or greater ever comes up in the market, then this will move twice. Everybody will lose 1 industry tile, and this will move twice. So if it was here, like this, and the 3 bears came up, or the number of players or greater, then this is going to move like this, and this is going to come here, and now I'm going to owe both of those in 1 round. So you want to make sure that you're always cash heavy. Game is very simple. Take a card, get the money for it in an industry tile, and then you will spend this. Now, one of the advanced games is you can buy these luxury tiles, and I pretty much would recommend playing with this. It adds something. So this costs $56, and you get 2 victory points. $78, you get 3. $96, you get 4, and 30. I mean, buy these sparingly, people, because that cash, whoo! So the game ends when somebody goes bankrupt. That's how the game is going to end. Once one player goes bankrupt, anybody else who has money has the opportunity to win the game. So I'm just going to show you the scoring here. So the number of industry tiles, if you had 4 of the same type, you get 10. So you kind of want to get the same one if you can. And you get a number of points. It's based on how much money you have left over. But here's the extra trick to the game, okay? Because remember I told you, you can only get the same tile 3 times. Once you hit 3, you can't just grab another one of these. So this is where the game comes in. You're going to have this little thing. So if you have the same matching tile of somebody else, you can put an amount of money in here and offer. I want to buy this tile from you, this industry tile, and you give them. Nobody knows what's in here but you and the person receiving it. They either have to give you a tile, that tile at the price you indicated, or they put the exact same amount of money that you put in here, they give it back to you, and you have to give them the tile. So sometimes you'll want the industry tile, because this is how you win the game, but you need money. So sometimes you might, if you need cash, because you know that scoring's going to come up, you will take this, and you'll put in enough money that they'll send some money back to you, and you're letting them score points cheaper, but you're staying alive. You don't want to go bankrupt. So that's kind of how the game will go until somebody just crashes, until the game just, everybody goes bankrupt, or somebody goes bankrupt, or enough people go bankrupt that you might be the last one standing, or going to be counting up your points and seeing who won. And that, my friends, is Ponzi Scheme. Ponzi Scheme and who should buy it. Let's see. Anybody in the economic games, anybody who wants the feeling of a Ponzi scheme and wants something different in their economic games. If you like the pressure of losing slower than everybody else, this is it. If you like that impending doom feeling, this is it. I actually think you can play this rule set wise with non-gamers. Now, you're going to need some people who know how to value things. So it's not just any non-gamer, but financial people, people who like managing money, that kind of thing. It's almost like part of Monopoly, right? The money part of it. The part where everybody's going towards an impending doom of bankruptcy except for one player, right? So you have that here, and I think if you kind of sell that, it's like Monopoly. I think you can get away with non-gamers because the rules are really simple. There's going to be some negotiating at the table, but the negotiating is really easy. I'm going to put money in a folder. I'm going to hand it to you. Either take it or you send me the same amount back for my industry tile. It can be tricky. You need to count your money constantly. You have that math in your head going all the time. I think mathy people will like this game. But for me, I would tell you that this is a keeper for me. Absolutely. I realize it's going to polarize some people, but I think it has a place in your collection. Check this one out. This may be their best game. Going through my head, what's Tasty Minstrel Games has got? I think this is the best game. Enjoy it, love it, play it, but don't go bankrupt. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel, lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing games.